everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Catherine Carrasco. I'd like to take the next few minutes to talk about a very important issue, which is the real truth about genetically modified organisms. I want to talk about something that affects what we eat, what farmers grow, or even how we fight climate change. This is better known as genetically modified organisms, or as I like to call them, GMOs. There's a lot of debate around GMOs, but my goal today is to break down what they are, what they're used, and some of the concerns people might have around the world, so you can walk away with a clear science-based understanding. Let's start with the basics. What are GMOs? You're probably wondering, what does that even stand for? GMO stands for a genetically modified organism. It is any living thing, usually a plant or an animal, whose DNA has been changed using genetic engineering techniques. This is different from traditional breeding, where plants or animals with desirable traits are bred together. With GMOs, scientists can directly insert specific genes from one species into another. I know, sounds very sci-fi. For example, a gene from a bacterium that resists pests can be inserted into a corn plant. That corn is now pest resistant without needing as many chemical pesticides. These modifications are very precise, tested often, and regulated. In fact, almost every GMO that ends up in our food supply has gone through years of safety studies to ensure that the food that we eat is actually something safe that we are putting into our bodies. Okay, why do we use GMOs? So why bother modifying organisms in the first place? Why interrupt their natural being? There are three main reasons: agricultural efficiency, nutrition, and environmental protection. For the first reason, agriculture, GMOs help farmers grow more food with fewer resources. Crops like corn and Roundup Ready soybeans resist pests and herbicides, meaning less crops, less loss, and reduce the need for chemical sprays. Number 2, which is nutrition. Scientists can enhance the nutritional content of food. A great example is golden rice, which is genetically modified to contain vitamin A. It was designed to fight blindness and malnutrition in developing countries. Number 3, environment. Believe it or not, GMOs can actually help the environment because they require few pesticides and fertilizers. GMO crops can reduce chemical runoff into rivers and reduce carbon emissions from farm equipment. You have to remember, GMOs are constantly being controlled over, measured, and watched over. Plus, some GMOs are drought resistant, which is becoming increasingly important in our changing culture and climate. Okay, now let's talk about the other side, the not so positive side, the concerns that people may have about GMOs. There are 3 questions that typically rise up between individuals. Are they safe to eat? The short answer is yes. Major organizations like the World Health Organization, the American Medical Association, and the National Academy of Sciences have all concluded that GMOs currently on the market are just as safe as conventional foods. Number 2, what about the environment? While some worry that GMOs might harm biodiversity or lead to superweeds, the responsible use of GMO combined with good farming practices can minimize these risks. In fact, many environmentalists argue that GMOs are essential to reducing agriculture's carbon footprint. Number 3, are corporations taking over farming? It's true that some GMO seeds are patented by large biotech companies, which raise ethical and economic questions. However, there are also nonprofit and public sector GMO projects aimed at helping small farmers, especially in developing countries. So, where does this leave us? GMOs are not magic, and they are not without flaws, but they're also not the villain. They're often made up to be. They're tools, and very powerful ones for our economy. They can help us grow more food, feed more people, and protect our environment. As with any tool, the key is how we choose to use it. Thank you for listening, and I encourage you to keep asking questions, stay curious, and make informed choices about the food you eat.